Most welcome to Historiespanarna, History Reconnaissance. This is the Scandinavian cruise of the British battlecruiser HMS Hood in 1920. Hood was a battlecruiser of the British Royal Navy, the first of the planned 4 Admiral-class battlecruisers to be built during the First World War. The Battle of Jutland 1916 revealed serious flaws in her design, and drastic revisions were made before she was completed 4 years later. And she was the only ship of her class to be completed. And please, subscribe to our channel, like, share and comment, it means a lot to us. Hood remained the largest warship in the world for 20 years after her commissioning, and her prestige was reflected in her nickname, the Mighty Hood. Hood was involved in many showing the flag exercises before her commissioning in 1920 and the outbreak of war in 1939. One of these was the Scandinavian cruise, her first overseas cruise. Leaving Portland, England, May 29, 1920, accompanied by the cruiser Tiger and 9 of the Royal Navy's newest destroyers. The official version was a cruise with friendly visit to the Scandinavian countries. The real reason was the Russian Civil War, and that the Soviets were gaining the upper hand, threatening the sovereignty of the Baltic states. Hood and her flotilla would alert the Soviet fleet at Kronstadt of the consequences should they take offensive action. Though, at the date of departure, tensions had eased, reducing the mission of the battlecruiser squadron to a grand diplomatic tour of Scandinavia. May 29, 1920, Hood departed Portland, England for the Scandinavian tour. On the evening of May 31st, as the squadron was nearing Denmark, a memorial service was held on the Hood's quarterdeck for all those lost at the Battle of Jutland. On June 1st, they arrived in Køge Bay, Denmark. June 4th, the squadron weighed anchor and sailed to Kalmar on the Swedish east coast. 3 days later to Nynäshamn, Sweden, near the capital Stockholm, where Hood was visited by King Gustav V of Sweden. The squadron departed Nynäshamn to undertake a series of exercises before heading for Denmark, staying in the capital Copenhagen for 6 days. This time visited by the King of Denmark, Christian X. Then leaving on the 23rd of June, setting course for Christiania in Norway, now called Oslo. The squadron sailed up the Oslofjord, greeted by cheering crowds and Norwegian flags dipped in salute along the narrow stretch of water. A very different reception and fate than what the German cruiser Blücher would meet 20 years later, being sunk by a coastal defense battery. On arrival to Christiania, Hood received yet another royal visit by King Haakon VII of Norway.
have to march with the infantry, shoot with artillery, ride with the cavalry. We don't have to fly over Germany. We're in the King's Navy. Oh, we're in the King's Navy. Aye, we're in the King's Navy. We don't have to march with the infantry, shoot with artillery, ride with the cavalry. We don't have to fly over Germany. We're in the King's Navy.
We don't have to march with the infantry, shoot with artillery, ride with the cavalry. We don't have to fly over Germany. We're in the King's Navy. We're in the King's Navy. Have-a-be-da-da. We're in the King's Navy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't have to march with the infantry, shoot with artillery, ride with the cavalry. We don't have to fly over Germany. We're in the King's Navy. What do we see? What do we see? What do we see? What do we see? We saw the sea in the King's Navy.
Das Oberkommando der Wehrmacht gibt bekannt: ein im Atlantik operierender deutscher Flottenverband unter Führung des Flottenchefs Admiral Lütjens stieß im Seegebiet um Island auf schwere englische Seestreitkräfte. Das Schlachtschiff Bismarck hat hierbei einen englischen Schlachtkreuzer, wahrscheinlich Hood, vernichtet.
Aboard a warship in pursuit of the Bismarck. British sea power seeking vengeance on that German battleship which blew up the mighty battlecruiser Hood. The signal comes by wireless. An American-built Catalina seaplane has spotted the fleeing Bismarck, and the order is given by Admiral Somerville in charge of operations. Torpedo planes to the attack. They take off from the aircraft carrier Ark Royal, the ship the Germans so often claimed they sank. And those are the warplanes that torpedoed the Bismarck, damaging it, slowing its speed, so the British warships could catch the fugitive giant. Scenes of the battle. The crippled Bismarck fires. Shells fall near a British warship. Shells from the doomed Nazi battleship continue to burst. British gunfire, and the camera shakes and the cannon smoke drifts by as broadsides are hurled by the warship aboard which these pictures are made, and the Bismarck is doomed. Prisoners, members of the crew of the German battleship, which was finally finished off by a torpedo. 100-odd were saved. They thought their ship unsinkable, but in its first sally out on the ocean, the Bismarck was sunk after less than 7 days on the high sea. That sea monster fired its shells in the final action, HMS Rodney. To congratulate comes First Lord of the Admiralty Alexander. The pride and prestige of the British Navy was bound in the destruction of the Bismarck. Vengeance for the sinking of the Hood, world's biggest warship. And the feeling is expressed by the First Lord of the Admiralty.
The destruction of the Bismarck, that great and powerful ship, had to be accomplished to be true to the traditions of the British Royal Navy.
They played their part in a victory which is proudly marked up along with victories of the past. The greatest pursuit and kill in history.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.